I fly a lot of rockets, and I always try to get onboard footage. I like these down-looking shots so you can see the ground fall away, and until recently I was filming with RunCam splits, these little cameras meant for FPV drones. The form factor of these is excellent because you can put the lens pretty much wherever you want. But to upgrade my setup, I started using GoPros, and no, this is not sponsored. I wish it was. GoPro, I wish it was sponsored, but I can't. Please. Anyway, the main issue with the GoPros is form factor. I want to shoot a down-looking shot, but right now, the form factor of these cameras means they can only point out. So my goal is to turn this form factor into this. I start by dremeling open the plastic case. This thing isn't tied together by screws or anything, so you pretty much have to cut it open. Once it's open, I'll remove all the plastic parts I can, and now it's time to replace the ribbon cable. The one that it comes with isn't long or stretchy enough, so I have to replace it with this one that I found online. After that, the sensor element can bend around more freely. I also add an SD card extender. This lets the camera sit somewhere that I can't access, but I can still get to the SD card if I need to. Another problem with these is that they overheat. Recording at 4K and 120 frames per second, they overheat in about 5 minutes. To fix this, I fill the entire internal volume with thermal paste. This is the same stuff you'd use if you're replacing the CPU on your PC. This is not really how thermal paste is supposed to be used, but just bear with me. After pasting the internal electronics and then adding about 30 grams of aluminum as a heatsink on top, we can extend the recording time from 5 minutes to 45. These cameras need to run at ground level as well as in the upper atmosphere, which means we can't use traditional radiation cooling. That's why I'm not using a more traditional heatsink or something like a fan. Once the assembly is all together, I pot the whole thing in 5-minute epoxy, and after locking everything in place, I can mount it to the rocket. The flexible ribbon cable means I can stick the little lens out the side while the rest of the bulky camera assembly can stay inside. I then smooth the sensor over in epoxy and sand it flat. This protects the sensor against the airstream, which for my flights is multiple Mach numbers. I think the results speak for themselves. I love the image quality here, and while there are tons of other options for getting onboard video, this is the one that I like best.